Welcome back to Daft Twang. I'm Dave. So today we've got an E major kind of jam. It's actually, it can also be seen as being, as A being the home key. I don't want to confuse you, but that's kind of the point of this progression, or what this lesson's really about, is how we're going to have two kind of approaches as far as scales that we can use with this, and kind of mess around with playing either one of them over each of the chords, and just getting a little bit more interesting improvisation going. And a lot of you, I've been communicating with a lot of folks on this channel, and we really like, I love things that are kind of guaranteed to work, right? We just know that that minor pentatonic is going to go with that A, and when we switch it to D, it's going to work again. But, that's why we love that stuff. And that's why so much popular music features that kind of theory. That doesn't always, along with those kinds of principles, you do want to be able to do a little bit of, hey, I got a couple things I could try out here, and let's just see, And it doesn't always have to be, am I following the rules right or not? And am I allowed to do that here? No, I don't think about it that way so much. It's just like, hey, I'm just going to try this other scale and see what happens there, So today I'm going to give you a simple way to experiment with that using this progression. And I will, as usual, make a practice loop for you at the end of that, with that progression. So let's get that all organized. The main thing that we're going to be working around and within here is the major pentatonic. So let me just show you the position right here. Actually goes down to there to fill out the position, but that's the root note. Now, right off the bat, you might go, why do I want to do a position where my pinky is like my starting root note? That's weird. We like to go, use all those strong fingers, right? That's great. You still do all that stuff. But the reason I got you set up right here is because it's going to overlay with these other ideas that I'm getting ready to show you just right. So here we go with just using that position, and I'll put the diagram up while I'm demonstrating that. Doesn't really matter where you start in your jam track with this stuff. So notice I went kind of from just methodically moving up and down it to doing a little bouncing, a little bit back and forth, a little bend, especially on that location. Okay, just ideas. Don't try to copy all that. Those aren't really licks. I'm just showing you concepts. So get that under your fingers. Work out. Now, some of you might be saying, wait a minute, what is this guy talking? That looks like a minor pentatonic pattern. Well, good. You're on the right track, because it is in a different location. Okay. So one of the things that And it's kind of confusing sometimes with all the, gazillion diagrams flying around, for guitar in the world, is you see all of this stuff lined up and it kind of can sort of meld into this one big, confusing thing that all looks the same or something, right? Here's the long and the short of it on that. Your minor pentatonic, one of the forms, is always going to be where your index finger is on the root. And it's this. Okay, so that's E minor pentatonic. This would be G minor pentatonic. Make sense? I don't want to play a lot of stuff because it gets our ear out. We're in E right now. And we want to stay in that groove. Here's what you can put in the bank. With the same root note, if you move it down from its minor 3 frets, it'll be a major pentatonic for that same key. Okay, let that marinate for a minute. That's a big deal. Just that alone lets you really diversify. You could just take those two things and have a conversation between them and make your improvisation over something like this a lot more interesting. Here's a quick example. I'll start with the major. Minor. Major. Minor. That was almost playing like the same licks even, and just moving them back and forth between those two. Now, this is being talked about in a lot of different venues with guitar teaching, but maybe we're not boiling it down to just something that simple. That's really the essence of it. Any place on your neck that you can get patterns under your fingers for the major and the minor pentatonics, you can alternate those in a lot of rock playing. Sometimes it's not going to work out as good, and then you say, try something else. Speaking of something else, here's what you can do with this E stuff. The first thing, besides the pentatonic stuff, is just the major scale, the do, re, mi. Now you can play it anywhere on the neck, right? Now, I like it right here because on these top 3 strings, it fits right in our frame of. So, man, I'm telling you, I'm going to turn this on in a second, and this is just takes your pentatonic stuff right there and just puts an exponent on it. Here we go. You still don't have to play a lot of notes. After you get it down, the mechanics get right into talking with it. might want to just park it right there for a few minutes and say, okay, wait a second. E, make a chord statement, you know, play some of that stuff. And then it goes to A. See, when you're practicing like that by yourself, don't even worry about being in time with anything, right? You don't have to keep up with the band or the backing track or whatever. You're just kind of, you know, putting it into its pieces. Okay. Now, I almost didn't put this in here today, this second little piece, but I'm going to because I know that you can do it and you can, you know, we're going to talk about this some more later. So let this first round, this part one of this, you know, soak in as far as it can, and then we'll come back. And sometimes you don't get it all at once. That's okay. We'll come back and work on it some more. The other thing that we want to add here is a Mixolydian scale, which is like the do, re, mi, except the seventh tone is lowered one fret. Okay? The ones that I'm leaning on and hesitating on are that flatted seventh. Now, what does that sound like? When we mix that, we'll do some major pentatonic. Well, why do both of these work? I don't know if you picked up on it, but most of the time when I'm going to that flatted seventh version is on the A. Okay? We're not going to pick it apart with the theory on that. It's not a rule, what I just said, but it feels good. And it goes from back and forth between that kind of pretty melodic sound of that pure major to this dirtier, bluesy sound of that Mixolydian. Here it is again. Major, Mixolydian. Okay? Don't want to get carried away there. That's pretty much it. Now, that's quite a bit, but you probably got a good grasp on this major pentatonic. There's a video that shows you that 12 fret span for E major pentatonic. Yeah, a couple videos back. Go check that one out. It really breaks that down for you. That's it. Your routine is do a little bending in that box. Then, especially on this higher octave, mix in that pure major and then Mixolydian. Okay, be be patient with yourself. Ask questions if you need to. I'll put links up to the diagrams, and everybody's doing great work on this channel. I've had so much uh, people expressing that they're really able to use this information and it fits with what they're doing in their process of learning. Let me know how you're doing. Until next time, thank you.